Hello, everyone. Welcome to the live stream. We're going to be reviewing the holiday specials. So it's a special
Merry
occasion.
Christmas!
Yep.
Merry Christmas!
Housewarming.
Yep.
Frohe Weihnachten.
So we're going to start off with Triple Pony Daria. This is one of the three-minute long specials that came out recently. It came out free on YouTube, or at least this one did so far. And yeah, this is another AJ and Rainbow Dash competing one. What'd you guys think?
I thought it was I thought it was a good short to begin with, because they had ties with the season 1 episode Fall Weather Friends, but this time it was the holiday edition.
Well, yes,
that was just my thought.
That's where their competitive nature kind of started. But really, this was just they've been doing that for a while now. Some people are kind of tired of seeing it.
Well,
Yeah, it's kind of annoying.
I love it.
Well, that's the thing. I love their character interaction, but I feel like at this point, it's getting old. Like they're not doing enough with it. They're using it, but they're not doing anything with it. Does that make any sense?
Like they haven't
Yeah.
changed. Like, what didn't we have that recent episode in season 8 where they were really terrible
Yes.
teachers?
Oh, that
It
was-
They
that was-
each other?
horrible.
That was probably one of the worst examples of this
Yeah.
conflict.
Yeah, they just have not improved. They've always been competitive.
Just made me rethink of that episode after
So-
watching.
This one's not nearly as like horrible or offensive as that one, but it's still I thought it was kind of a little bit boring, a little bit simple, but it's only 3 minutes long, so they didn't really have time to do too much crazy stuff. What'd you guys think?
Pinky
Well, I
was
thought-
the only enjoyable thing.
Yeah.
Test.
Yeah, so
I
to
thought it was
explain,
fine.
yeah, we hear you, Tojo, but to explain really quickly,
Oh,
it's basically
sorry.
they're daring each other to do stuff, and then at the end, Pinky dares them to stop daring each other, and then they say they can't, so the end. Like, it's a really quick short. That's the joke.
Daring
Yeah.
do, more like dare to don't. Am I right?
Yeah. Well, that's exactly. That's what Pinky did. We did
I
get
would
a
have
few.
dared them to stop. I would have dared them to stop competing with each other.
Yeah, that's what she did. So you have that.
And then-
Honestly,
She won.
honestly, the thing with all of these is, I think they should have just put they should have maybe structured them to have more of a point or a bigger joke to them, because right now as they are, it just feels like it exists.
Well, yeah, it feels like, and again, I mean, we're gonna try talking about this one specifically, but this one, as well as the other ones we're about to talk about, it feels like they were given this job of, okay, make 3 shorts this long with these characters and this theme. It wasn't really the other way around, where they had an idea that would work in 3 minutes. They kind of just squeezed this really simple thing into this really simple video. I don't know. There's not a whole lot to talk
Yeah,
about
it
here
was-
besides the usual funny faces. That's really the best part of these shorts, I think.
Well, the
It basically
beginning
was
of the
just
episode was stalling.
It was just have something on screen for 3 minutes that resembled My Little Pony.
Yeah, again, at least it was like I think I used the word earlier in the call. It's very inoffensive. There's nothing about this to really complain about besides it just being okay, that happened.
Yeah, but the thing is, isn't it being inoffensive as one of the most positive points about it offensive in itself?
To bronies, sure. We need a killer episode every time, right?
Nah.
Well, we sure
Oh, actually-
need something
yeah, alright.
that is as much as a dumpster fire as
Something significant we have been overlooking is that Applejack named her hat.
Yes.
Tallulah.
Yeah, Tallulah. That's new. This is getting confusing following the canon,
I'm
knowing
so confused about her hat. So it
Well, yeah.
was her dad. So it was her dad's hat, but she gives it a name.
but then also she got a new hat in Manhattan, I believe, and then also she has a bunch in the
No,
closet.
no. Let's
is that-
let's just forget those happened, okay?
Is that
So
why it's
each one of them
called
has their own name.
Manhattan?
forget those happen.
Well, that's the
because
thing. Dr. Wolf had
Hat.
I can't say the word, analysis video recently where he theorized that maybe this one hat is from the father and the other hats are like duplicates of it because that's her fashion style. That's my headcanon, at least. I agree with that.
Well,
I just like to think that.
I
just
think
like to
that's
think-
just overanalyzing a kid's
Yeah,
but it
that's
makes
not
sense.
correct.
It makes sense. This is the hat from her father, okay, and all the other hats in the closet, for example, are just duplicates.
What if
Let's
she
just
has
forget
a
about the
really
closet,
great
okay?
hat?
Closet never happened.
But no, also didn't something happen in Manhattan? Didn't she lose her hat in
No,
a
that
Rarity
never
Butter?
happened either. That never happened either.
Okay. So yeah, all right. Should we go ahead and like rate each of these separately and then average our scores together? How should we do this?
Why don't we
Great.
give like a?
Make
Why
me
don't we
put
give like a?
numbers on it? I can honestly
give
just
ratings for each
them
short.
an I don't care out of 10.
Why don't we have a discussion and rating for each episode? Like we do a rating for this one, we do a rating for the other one
Mhm.
after
Yeah.
a discussion.
Yeah.
And
That
then-
sounds good.
All right.
Yeah,
Is there any other points or comments people want to bring up about this short specifically?
No.
I mean, again, it's really simple. It's just they dare each other to do some simple things, and then one of those things is, of course, go some moons without your hat or whatever it was, and that's where we got the
No,
Tallulah
one-
drop.
What
so that's
about-
I think
significant.
it was like
about-
go one moon without your hat.
Yeah.
What about Rainbow Dash breaking 1/4 of a tooth?
Oh yeah, I don't think I have a screenshot, but she like broke her tooth in one of the dares here. How does that work? Because
Yeah.
their teeth are like one thing.
Yeah, and
I
then
cringed
they
when I
just
saw that.
dismissed that instantly.
I don't
I
have
mean,
a
it was
screenshot.
just-
Well, it is a
cartoon.
short, so
Cartoonish. It was fine.
Yeah, that was a funny cartoony moment. I like when the show goes those cartoony lengths like that. It's funny.
all right.
All right, so I guess we'll do individual ratings and reviews like we do for most episodes. Again, it's a little confusing with these shorts, but so yeah, Draconite, you want to give us some thoughts on a rating out of 10?
Sure. I thought it was okay. I like part of what makes me dislike it is that they have not their interaction in the past 8 years has not changed at all. And they're still always just so competitive. But I mean, like, it was fine. Give it like a 7.
All right, we got a 7 out of 10 from Drac. Drummer Shy, what'd you think?
I thought it was pretty good. You know, something I would watch in my free time. I like Applejack and Rainbow Dash. You know, battling. It was a little throwback to Fall Weather Friends, in my opinion. Give it a 7 out of 10.
All right, another 7. Who's next? Hojo, what'd you think?
Well, the start of it was stalling. The jokes aside, it did start off slow for a 3-minute episode. It felt like they were taking too long to get to the point. But I did like AJ now has a hat, and I believe like every single hat has its own name. And that AJ wanted to do to Rainbow Dash something impossible, which is like go like the slowest she's gone, which I didn't get that very much. But I did like it. I give it an 8.
Oh, an 8. All right. So who's next? Jessica, what did you think?
Yeah, I thought it was a meh short. I'm not a fan of both ponies, so watching this entire short of just them competing was just. I find it annoying, honestly, this whole competing thing. Until the end when Pinkie Pie just dared them not to compete with each other and claims herself as the winner. That was the only funny thing in the entire short. Everything else was just, So, I would give it like probably a 6 out of 10.
All right, a 6 out of 10 from Jessica. Should I go next or wrap things up? Because it's so different with these shorts. I guess we'll jump to Magma. What do you think?
Well, the best thing I can say about them is that the character interactions were functional, and just the fact that that is the best thing I can say about it warrants a 4 because they don't really do anything proper. It goes nowhere. You know what? Actually, never mind. It goes nowhere, so a 3.
All right. There's a harsher one from Magma. So my thoughts is basically that it's really simple. There's not a whole lot to it. There's a very, very basic punchline they base the entire short around. And again, to repeat that, it's just they dare each other to do stuff. Then Pinkie dares them to not dare each other. The end. Everyone claps and laughs, right? Like, so it's really simple, really, again, inoffensive. I didn't think it was horrible. I'm not too caught up on the fact that they're competing with one another. I actually like their character interactions and how they do that throughout the show, but usually it's more subtle. You know, you don't really base a whole short around that very simple fact. Usually that would just be like one small element of a greater episode, and in that case it would work. But here again, when they focus on this very simple premise, and the punchline's not really that funny, I'm kind of in the middle road, so I'm gonna have to give it a 5 out of 10. It's not great, it's not horrible, just somewhere in the middle. So let's go ahead and calculate our average here. Our average rating for this short, what was the name of this short again? A Triple Pony Daria, was it? Our average for this one is a 6 out of 10. Let me just write that down, make a note. We're going to keep moving right along to the escape room one. What's that called? I got to check it really quick.
The Great Escape
The
Room?
Great Escape.
Yeah, Great Escape Room. Yep. So this one, what was this one about? Pinkie sets up an escape room. They fail, and the punishment is Gummy appears. I didn't really get it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't.
I don't know. I didn't get it either.
Yeah, the writer.
It sounded like they actually did win. They got the puzzles completed, but at the very last second, they ran out of time. I think that's what happened, at least.
Yeah. It felt like the writer's room just went to an escape room and wrote their experience.
Well, what the main six have done an escape room in the show, and I think they did it a lot better in the
Yeah, they
episode.
did.
Yeah, they did that a lot better in that episode.
Yeah.
Yeah, they just did an escape room once, and then in this thing they just called themselves experts from that.
Did they actually? I didn't catch that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
I mean, again,
Twilight said they're experts, even though they've done like one.
well, they're experts because they work so well together. I guess is the idea that their friendship is so strong that they would be good at this. But again, I mean, the premise here, Pinkie Pie running an escape room sounds fun, right? But I don't think they have enough time to really explore that. It should have gone like really silly or even a little bit dark with Pinkie Pie doing something like dangerous. You know, like the rock obstacle in that one episode. What was that episode? Where she was trying to.
Mod Pie?
Yeah, the one with Maud Pie. What was the name of it?
Mod Pie.
Oh, it's just Maud
Maud
Pie. It was
Pie.
the first one. All right,
Yeah.
yeah, like Pinkie had an obstacle course in that one. That made sense. It was silly like Pinkie, and it was also kind of dangerous, you know. And I feel like maybe if they did something like that here, but again, the punchline here is that they failed, and the punishment is Gummy appears. Again, I don't get it.
I
Anybody
would
have-
like them to get slimed or something.
Yeah, something more Pinky-ish. Does that make any sense? Yeah, getting slimed or something. Yeah, that makes sense. Almost drowning in the slime, and Pinkie realizing that she's gone too far and has to save them. You know, like something like that.
Yeah.
Really, the only note I have written down is that Rarity says poo. Ha ha ha! She said poo. That's all I have written down.
You know, she should have said, "Oh, manure."
Yeah, like manure. At least that'd be a horse joke.
Like honestly, it was really boring.
Depressing.
The whole thing was really boring.
Yeah,
Depressing.
Yeah.
It was
little dis-
uneventful.
It was boring.
disappointing.
Yeah.
Again, I like the first short. It wasn't like horrible. There was nothing really bad about it. It just sort of happened.
Sure.
There wasn't enough there for it to be bad. Let's say it like that.
I
Yeah,
think
usually,
this was the one that I say that about. Like it was just exists. It was uneventful and boring.
I think the problem with the complaint I've always had with season 8 is great premises with horrible execution. This has decent execution, nothing wrong with it, but the premises are just boring. Like, what's the point?
Because
There's
it wasn't
nothing
worth a
there.
30-minute episode.
yeah, yeah.
That's
I mean,
true.
but even then, I still think these premises could have fit into a 30-minute episode if done right. They just didn't have enough time to go all in with like one of those crazy examples I gave before. So I guess we have to ask ourselves, given the premise and given the amount of time they had to do it in, how would we have done it differently?
Not done it.
Yeah, just
Yeah, I was
not done
about
it
to
at
say,
all.
No, well, I
just
like the
changed
idea.
whole genres and made a proper episode instead.
I do like the idea of Pinkie Pie running an escape room. That sounds like a good premise to me. But they don't really go all the way. They don't really do anything. Like here we have, I'm showing a screenshot. Rainbow Dash has to juggle. Fluttershy's balancing or something. Like those aren't very creative ideas. They're just sort of
Nor are they really part of of an escape room.
they're not even puzzles. I don't know. So yeah, again, this one I'm also lukewarm on. Any last remarks before we jump into individual ratings and reviews?
Let's just do it.
All right, let's jump in. Draconite, any thoughts and rating?
I'm not mad. I'm just disappointed. It was just boring. I was not interested. I was just looking away from the screen half the time. It was just boring. I would give it a 2 out of 10. Actually, no,
well-
a 1 out of 10.
All right, I'll interrupt really briefly because
Yep.
like 5 is normal. All right, so like a 1 would be really bad.
Never mind then. I would give it a 4.
Okay.
Thanks for because I
That's a little
usually
harsh
get
if
really
you
high
get-
reviews. I really
Yeah.
like every episode.
Yeah.
So this was just really boring. So boring that I just didn't
Yeah.
like it.
Yeah, that seems fair. All right, Drummer Shy, what did you think?
I'm sticking with Dragonite said. I was just staring at my phone. I only looked up and I stared at my phone checking Twitter. 4 out of 10.
All right, another 4. Hojo, what did you think?
Ditto 4.
Yeah, all right, 4. Not a whole lot to say about this episode. Jessica.
Yeah, we should get some Wendy's. 444.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That joke was better than the episode.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Sad but true. All right, Jessica, what do you think?
I feel like I'm the only one that's gonna say this. If I have to be completely honest, this was more enjoyable than the first one. I'm sorry.
That's fine.
I like Pinkie Pie. I like Pinkie. I mean, sure, this was completely confusing, but you know it's better than just watching Applejack and Rainbow compete. That's just more enjoyable. So I would give it like I don't know. I gave the first one a 6. I'm probably gonna give this one probably a 7.
All
I
right.
just like it more.
Okay.
Sorry.
Yeah, that seems fair to me.
It's alright.
Magma Master, what did you think?
Okay, this was even more boring than the first one. And I think it being rating it a 4. Sorry for calling you guys out, but rating it a 4 for it being so boring that you don't even pay attention to it is way too generous. I'm giving it a 2.
All right. 2 from Magma. All right, so I suppose it's my turn. Again, I don't have much more to add to it. I do feel like the idea of Pinkie Pie running an escape room is amazing, and they should have done something great with that. But they also, I don't feel like they did anything really horrible either. The boringness really stems from us expecting it to be this masterpiece of cartoon innovation, which My Little Pony kind of used to be in a way. You know, every episode was kind of interesting in some unique way, and that's what that's what drew the bronies in the first place. And here we're kind of regressing back to the point of it just being a simple, colorful cartoon to put in front of kids, you know? And that's kind of like the default state. It's not really a lower, horrible state. It's just sort of the default. That doesn't appeal to adults, but it's just, you know, it is what it is. It's just a simple 3-minute short. So, once again, I'm stuck in the middle. I'm just going to give this one a 5 out of 10. All right, so let's go ahead and calculate our average. Let's see how it compares.
4.
Actually, yes, we're going to call it was 4.3 technically, but yes, we'll call this one a 4 out of 10. That's too bad. I wish we could have gotten some. Anyway, all right, we're gonna jump right to the next one.
I was the only one that gave it a higher rating.
Yep. All right, so this next one is really interesting. It's the mystery voice. What do you guys think? Well, actually, hold on. First of all, the premise is that there's some mystery announcer on the school speakers, and it's annoying every pony because it keeps interrupting their classes. So come to find out, it was actually Applejack. The end. Like that. It doesn't make any sense.
I'm not really a fan of exactly how it was executed. Like, the first impression is like, oh, dang, Applejack is literally lying. That is, again, lack of characterization. Then you realize, oh, she's being voice actress and stuff. I don't know, it just feels a little bit weird. Like, it's nice, the idea that she can pull voices, but the fact that she was pretending to be other people just kind of goes against the element of honesty.
And it just comes out of nowhere. Like, why was she doing that? What was her motivation? Was it like a prank?
Yeah.
They didn't really set it up like a prank.
Yeah, and watching it like with her character speaking with those voices coming out, it felt off.
So I should clarify also,
It just felt.
the voices themselves sound like they're from like 3 or 4 different voice actors. I think I might have even heard Tara Strong in there. Like they got totally different voice actors to voice these silly voices Applejack had. And it's just so jarring to hear these voices come from Applejack's mouth. It really breaks the what is the word?
It would be nice if they added at least a little bit of a country drawl, or even had it's Ashley Ball who voiced Applejack, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, have Ashley Ball try to pull those voices.
Yeah, because
she's a voice actor.
she is talented. She obviously voices Rainbow Dash. She could pull that one off. Like they should have had Ashley Ball voice a bunch of silly voices. It would have made sense at least. But no, it's just so jarring to hear these, not just over the speaker, but towards the end you actually hear these weird voices coming from her mouth. And
it breaks the immersion.
This separates it from the other specials for me personally, because the other specials are inoffensive and pretty simple, but this one, it's not the same tone the show has. The show has always been about the characters and the lore and the canon, right? Bronies take their canon very seriously. But hearing these voices come out of Applejack, and it's not magic, it's not a dream or something, it's just Applejack doing voices that are other voice actors, obviously. It breaks the immersion. Like, what is going on? It hurts my brain.
Yeah, this was the worst one by far.
Yeah, I kind of feel the same way.
Yeah.
Any other thoughts? I mean, there were other things that happened. Like, didn't we get a couple jokes? What was Rarity doing?
Plushie making class.
Oh, it was that. That's what it was. Okay, that's cool. I like that idea.
Yeah, making plushies in a class. Yeah.
It's a good use of school
Can we
time.
have that?
Yeah, we should have. Well, BronyCon has plushie making classes. All right. So what else happens? I don't have any notes on this one.
Applejack's weird face, like during the end when she was saying all the voice acts, she was like, ah, and I'm just like, oh, I know what they're gonna do with that. They're probably gonna meme that voice or something.
Yeah.
Hey, Little Shy, did you ever get a screenshot of the credits?
No, I haven't. I can check it really quickly on my screen though. Why, you're wondering who voiced all the? Yeah, how would they credit those voices? Oh wait, I'm live streaming. I
Just
can
put
show this.
Applejack and just like a bunch of names, probably.
All right, let's see. I'm playing through. I'll just mute it so we don't get too easy of a claim. Let's see. Herpity-derp. Oh, okay. Oh, here we go. Here we go. I got them. We have Ashley Ball as announcer 4. We have Chan Ken as announcer 1. Kathy Westluck, announcer 2. I thought I heard her. And also Andrea Libman, announcer 3. So I heard her too. I was actually right. Who's Chan Ken? Is that the singing
She
voice?
plays Smolder.
Oh, that's Smolder. Okay, that's
Right.
it's the only one I wasn't sure. And let me go to the next page.
I
here.
recognize that one.
Oh, I think the one I thought was Tara Strong was actually Andrea Libman. They both had that really small-sounding voice. But yeah, anyway, like I said, it's totally different voice actors playing Applejack. Like literally, no, it's not a dream, it's not magic. It's just literally that's her voice, and that bothers me. Like, don't mess with the canon.
Yeah, it's a little weird. Pinkie Pie loses her canon.
Yeah, no, like Pinkie Pie could get away with it. Like she's a character
Oh, yeah.
that would have made sense if they put her in that
Oh, yeah.
seat.
Oh yeah.
That would have worked. But
That would have
Applejack.
been really good. Yeah, I agree.
I think the joke is supposed to be that it's so unexpected, but no, it's gone too far. There's unexpected, then there's just no.
Just no.
Yeah. All right. So.
And
Oh, go ahead.
they have microphones.
Yeah, I don't know if that's new or not. It's a little confusing.
It's not new.
Yeah,
It's
I know-
not new.
I know they
literally had microphones in the season 2 finale.
yeah. I don't think that's a new thing.
Yeah.
It is something they don't explore very often in the show. That's for
It's-
sure. It looks like it's
Yeah,
kind of a
It's
wanna
not
say
new
it's-
whatsoever.
50s or 60s technology. Is it? Does that make sense? I'm
Yeah,
not-
but without like any automotive innovation.
Oh,
or
no
any-
transistors, right? That's also like the Fallout rules or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
Wait, but Fallout had transistors. Like
no, they did.
like- they had energy weapons. Those must have.
Oh, that's
they
just
have
that's
these.
sci-fi. I don't know. Anyway.
Yeah, that.
Yeah. Pony's kind of fit in this weird, unique world where it's kind of inspired by that no transistor old technology lore, and then also magic. And again, that's what makes Pony so special. So when they go and mess with my characters, that my waifu isn't supposed to have that voice, you know?
Wait, could you explain what you mean by no transistors?
Oh, I'm sorry. Is that the right word? Transistors? What's the other
I
thing?
know what a transistor is.
I thought
I'm just-
I know what you're talking about. It's like the vacuum tube rule.
Yeah, vacuum tubes. That's like the smaller version of that. That's a transistor,
Yeah,
right?
but like, could you clarify? I mean, like,
Well, I don't know if that's actually a specific rule ponies have. It just seems like they have that older sort of
It's
technology.
basically the Fallout rule is if we kind of progressed without progressing past vacuum tubes and we still use them in day-to-day use.
Yeah.
That's what the world would look like, basically.
And I brought that up because it does seem like that's kind of similar to Equestria. I mean, they don't follow the rule quite as exact, but it's similar.
yeah.
Yeah.
But they have like but Fallout they have like screens,
CRTs.
digital screens, the Pip-Boys,
Yep.
and
They're-
they have literal energy weapons. I fail to understand how that's
Well,
like. No
all right. Well,
transistor.
we can discuss Fallout after the review.
Yeah.
But,
I was gonna say this is ponies.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So any last remarks before we jump into individual thoughts and ratings? Nope.
Yeah.
All right, Draconite, what'd you think of this special?
I thought it was a good premise. It was not executed that well. Like, let's see, as a short sentence, 6 out of 10. It should have been Pinkie Pie.
Yeah, I totally agree. All right, who's
Yeah.
next? Drummer Shy, what'd you think?
Yeah, I thought it was boring.
Uh-huh.
I just thought it was boring.
Thought you were boring. Ugh.
That Applejack face was perfect, but I tried to write down notes, but there was nothing good I could have written. I'm gonna give it a 2 out of 10.
Ooh, all right, that's a pretty low one. 2 out of 10. Hojo Kono, what'd you think?
So, about this episode, it just felt off to me. The voice to everything. I could see Pinkie Pie doing it, but then again, if I actually saw Pinkie Pie like with Celestia's voice, it would just feel off, I think. But legit V Brony, you are wrong.
Ooh,
The guy in the comments.
what'd he say? You
he's
have to
like-
call it out for the
Yeah.
recording.
He's like-
he's wrong.
Yeah,
That's
it's a
wrong.
guy in the comments, but he's just like he doesn't see the jarring. But here's the thing: you never see them outside of their voice except for like a lower or higher, and this is like a big problem with like shows switching their voice actors to a different person. I can always notice that, and it just feels off.
Can I butt in
Unless
briefly?
they're a really good
Go
voice
for it.
acting.
But when you have a voice actor that changes, that's a non-diegetic change. That's the audience notices, but in character, in the universe, there's nothing different, right? Here, it's
Yeah.
actually in universe that Applejack has all these voices.
Hmm.
That's all
And
I
that
want
makes it even worse, in my opinion. So I'm going to give this a
agree.
1 out of 10.
Ooh, all right. 1 out of 10 from
That's
Hojo.
a spicy meatball.
Yeah. All right, Jessica, you're next.
Do I really need to show my opinion?
Well, hey, did you like it? We could use another side.
Yeah.
I'm the
That's
only
why
one
you're
that
here
has
for
a
it.
different opinion.
That's fine. No, we welcome
Yeah,
that.
that's great. I would like to hear a
I
different
mean-
opinion.
I'm like the only one that really liked this
That's great.
one. I like it because it's funny. I just find the idea of Applejack having these different voices just funny. I don't know. I just find it funny. The fact that it doesn't fit. The fact that those voices don't fit her is what makes it funny. Because I've seen that happen. I've seen characters that use different voices that don't fit, but it's just so funny because of how it doesn't fit. So, I mean, yeah, in the beginning it was annoying, the fact that Rarity keeps getting interrupted, but hey, I'm used to it. I'm used to getting interrupted.
What do you mean?
Hey, it happens to me every
What do you
time.
No,
I
you
talk.
never get interrupted.
People, yeah.
Oh yeah, I
well,
agree, Jessica.
All right, go ahead and finish.
I mean,
Yeah, really.
No.
I mean, I don't. Yeah, I like this one. I don't know if it's the best, but it's just funny. I just think it's funny with how it ended with. So I'm gonna give it probably a 7.
All right, that's fine. That's
Hey,
good to balance things
something.
Yeah, that's good.
out. Magma, what did you think? I'm guessing you have an opposing viewpoint.
Uh-oh.
I'm guessing you hate it.
It was boring, stupid. It broke rules, and it was overall absolutely terrible. I'm giving it a 0.
No, well, 1. We have to give it 1. We're gonna
Yeah,
break the
well, that's-
calculator.
We gotta break it. We gotta break it.
Then a 1.
I'm giving it -6.
All right, I suppose it's my turn. Again, like when it comes to humor is totally subjective. I totally respect Jessica enjoying this. I wouldn't want to ruin anyone's fun enjoying this. But again, it bothers me that it's not like a change that's, they could explain it through magic. They could explain it through, a dream or any number of other ways. But for the character to actually have in-universe different voice actors, and it's not explained why or how, that's just the joke is that it's not explained, I don't think that qualifies as a joke. It doesn't have a setup. I mean, okay, the setup is that you wouldn't expect this from Applejack. Maybe Pinkie Pie, but not someone as down-to-earth as Applejack. Is just weird, right? But yeah, again, I guess the humor in it is subjective, as we heard from Jessica, that some people just do like this one because of that. But for me, I'm one of the people that gets hung up on this fact. It's just too jarring, and I can't really say too much nice about the rest of the special because the special is about this surprise at the end. Applejack has multiple voice actors. No, you don't want to think about the voice actors when you're watching a show. You want to think about the characters and the world they're in. So I'm going to have to give this one somewhat lower than my other ones. I'll be giving this one a 3 out of 10. So let's go ahead and... Oh, our average is pretty low. I don't think Jessica helped out that much.
Wait, did you say 3 out of 10, little shot?
Yeah, I was thinking about 4, but you guys convinced me.
Oh boy.
All right, our average rating for this one is a 3.3, so that'll just be a 3 out of 10.
Damn.
That's
That's
pretty
way too
low.
generous.
Oh, what
It's
was the
way too
triple
generous.
episode average?
Yep. All right, so thank you so much, everyone, for stopping by, enjoying our
Hey, Little
reviews.
Shy.
What's up?
Triple episode average.
Oh, like all of them?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, that's a good idea. Let me just punch it in really quick because I can't do math in my head.
I guess it's a 4.1.
Is that what it is? Did you do it already?
No, I'm just doing.
Oh.
I'm just.
Oh, all right, let's see how close you are. The average for all of them combined is a 4.3.
Whoa.
Yeah.
So that's somewhat a little bit below average, not very high for our ratings. That is unfortunate. I think, again, I should clarify, these low ratings, I think, except for maybe a little bit of the Applejack one, come from a place of it being boring and uninteresting and not so much like, oh, I hated this episode. Would you guys agree with that?
Yeah.
Because I think now would be a good time if we want to discuss...
Except for the third, because the third one does something that's actually...
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the third one just brings it all down.
Yeah, my votes reflect that. I gave a 5.5, then a 3. I think
The
that
first,
yeah.
I think the best way to put it, the first 2 are passively bad, the third is actively bad.
Well,
Yeah.
and again, like that's the joke, you know. So when people like us get all upset, like we're just being party poopers.
It's a bad joke.
Again, that I think that's true, but I'm thinking objectively, jokes are subjective. So I don't know. I'm trying to see both sides. So any thoughts about the shorts as a whole, like all three combined? What do you think of this idea of ponies getting their own shorts like Equestria Girls did?
I would like this instead of the show ending that they would keep doing these shorts.
Would you? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. If they stay inoffensive and make sense in canon, I guess I would too.
Can we have Larson back?
Yes, Larson back would be the best.
Like this, I honestly would prefer the show to just end.
Yeah, I agree.
I don't know, like a slow ending. Well, actually, that'd be worse. Yeah, you're right. A big finale would be best.
Actually, yeah, I kind of want a big finale. I want to go out with a bang.
Yeah,
like what Samurai Jack did.
Don't let it just slowly die on life support.
Yeah, well, the good news is I don't think that's going to happen in G4. I think they're going to want to jump right into G5. But yeah, other than that, I mean, do these shorts specifically reflect that end of G4 topic or no? What do you guys think?
Hey, Wilson, I have a question. Will the Equestria Girls special actually continue after Generation 4's ended?
I heard yes, but I don't really know. I haven't been following Equestria Girls. So, again, I asked earlier, do you think the idea of ponies having 3 shorts like this, which is unprecedented, they've never done this before, do you think this could have some tie-in to where ponies are going to go in the future? I do have some thoughts, but I want to hear from you guys first.
Maybe.
Well,
hard maybe, because they have a big YouTube channel.
Yeah.
Well, Little Shy, let's see what happens, because we already had the shorts. Those are for the holiday season. But let's just see what happens, because I'm very uncertain of how season 9 is going to play out. So, that's just what
my
I think.
thinking is that these shorts are totally new. They've never done something like this before, unless you count Equestria Girls, and even then it's somewhat new. But seeing ponies having their own shorts like this could be a sign of Hasbro's future in terms of ponies, even if it's G5, because I think Discovery Family's deal ends in a couple of years, and that's also about the time we'll be seeing G5. So I'm wondering if Hasbro's going to start releasing ponies, be it G5 or not, entirely on YouTube or their own platform or something.
Oh. Yeah, that'd be very interesting if they had instead of a network on TV, they would have something like Netflix or
because they don't want you to buy the episodes, they want you to see the episode and buy the toys. That's their goal.
Yeah.
So I think these specials kind of reflect where Hasbro's going in the future, which is actually an interesting point to bring up. Is make sure you go watch these if you want to support that idea, or of course don't if you don't. Give them the view count.
I have a thought. Maybe they would they can continue having very short G4 shorts while they air G5 as a proper show.
That would be sad though. I don't. Yeah, I mean it's possible. I haven't heard anything like that, but it's possible.
I can relate this to one major company, and it's a company that if you don't watch anime, you probably won't hear of them. They're called Bones, and basically what they do is they produce anime to sell the manga. And that's pretty much their sole purpose. If they make one season, sell manga, and then they're done with that show for good.
Huh.
And I don't know if Hasbro will head that way with some of their cartoons, because I know some of their cartoons are very long running. But
like Transformers is another big franchise, right? They have feature films with Michael Bay and everything.
Yeah, and they make tons of money. They make money off the movies a lot.
Yep.
Well, actually, there is a new Transformer movie not directed by Michael Bay.
Yeah, I heard it's good.
Yeah. All right, so I suppose it's a good place to wrap up our discussion of the specials. Yeah, thank you so much, everyone, for stopping by. This is kind of like an off-season oddity here, but we'll be back for Season 9, so stay tuned to this channel for that.
See you next
I legit be brony.
Yep. Goodbye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.